The only thing that could possibly be more of a water under the bridge discussion than should the Penguins have made the playoffs or not is what would have happened if they did make the playoffs. Well, we might have an idea of that now, and then again, we might not. Good morning to you. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. The Rangers swept the Capitals. I don't know that that would be a surprise to anybody, including the entirety of the population inside the Beltway. All you needed to do was take a casual glance at the kind of roster that Washington had, the kind of injuries, to be fair, that Washington had, the kind of goaltending that Washington got. And then, the other uncomfortable truth is that Alexander Ovechkin isn't still 25 years old. So what you end up with is the Rangers, smoking these guys in 4 straight. Ovechkin not producing a single point in the series. That's a career first for him. And a sense I had anyway in watching just the handshake and the TJ Oshie farewell to the crowd and everything, that this Washington team might be even more toast than the Penguins were. So without getting into an analysis of the Capitals or their future, because I don't care any more than you do, I looked at the Penguins and the way they were playing, and please take this in the right spirit. I'm not sitting here defending the way the Penguins played all year long or anything like that. I'm trying to be specific to this scenario. If the Penguins had gotten into the playoffs, they would have given the Rangers a series. I shared already once with you a week ago when I was in New York covering Pirates versus Mets at Citi Field. Some of the reporters who do multiple sports the way I do were sharing with me, New York guys, that they got the sense that the Rangers, as they were watching this playoff scenario unfold late in the regular season, the one team they didn't want to face was Pittsburgh. Now, I didn't get that directly from the Rangers players. I didn't go into the Garden. These guys, they're there on a regular basis, and that was their sense. And you can see why. The number one reason is I don't think any team would feel all that comfortable taking on Sidney Crosby in a best-of-7. You never know what the captain's capable of doing, and as he showed this year, he's very much still capable of doing it, unlike Ovechkin maybe. From there, the rest of the team had really found, something of an equilibrium between offense and defense over the final month of the season. The Capitals didn't. The Capitals rose up right at the very end when they needed to, which was really kind of annoying. And the Red Wings really did the same thing. But what happened when the Penguins ran into either of the Capitals or the Red Wings over that final week? That's right. Pittsburgh prevailed. Pittsburgh had the better team. Pittsburgh had the better team out of the 3 of them. Sour grapes, whiny nonsense. I don't care what anybody would care to call this. My point with this is that the Penguins remain, I think, closer to being just a plain old playoff team than most of the rest of either the Metropolitan Division or the Eastern Conference. And that matters. I'll insist that that matters. Because if you think about the composition, the likely composition of the 2024-25 Penguins, barring more movement than I'm anticipating, you'll have Sidney Crosby, Brian Rust, Evgeny Malkin, Lars Eller, Drew O'Connor, Erik Karlsson, Chris Letang, Marcus Pettersson, Jack St. Ivany, Tristan Jarry. I could add a few more here, but you already see how much of the team is going to stay the same. And as such, its mission is going to stay the same. Sure, you're going to want to bring kids along. Sure, you're going to want to have a couple other surprises. I don't know if you could call O'Connor's emergence a surprise, but let's just say a pleasant development involving a young player like St. Ivany, like Valtteri Puustinen, if he can take another step and shoot the puck more often. But the overall objective, the hockey that we're going to watch in Pittsburgh, is not going to be rebuild-based. It's not going to be development-based. With where the Penguins' younger talent, such as it is, will be planted, that's got to happen in Wilkes-Barre or even lower levels for the most part. So how you stand within the division, within the conference, yes, that matters. The Penguins are in a better spot than the Capitals. The Penguins are a better team than the Capitals for what precious little that happens to be worth right now. And I have no doubt the Penguins would have given the Rangers at least something of a small headache along the way. And from there, who knows what an upset would have looked like. My guess is that it would have looked a lot like the last two times these teams met just a couple weeks ago at Madison Square Garden, in which the Penguins completely shut them down. When we come back, J1Q. Today's J1Q comes from Rich, who says, DK, it's going to be very interesting to see where the additions to the minor league coaching staff come from after the firings in Wilkes-Barre. Will it be associates of Kyle Dubas filling these roles, or might they look at other organizations' top minor league candidates who've had success in developing younger players, like for the Stars or the Kings or the Hurricanes? Any guess, DK? I don't have a guess as to people, Rich, and I really don't do that in general. I will say this. I don't want anything remotely resembling a train from Toronto to Pittsburgh of people, whether it's coaches or players or administrators that he knew. I want nothing of that toxic organization coming to Pittsburgh. Do you know what it takes to lose for almost 60 years in a row? Do you know what it takes to not make a Stanley Cup final even once since 1967? Do you know what it takes to go 20 years without getting out of the first round? There's something up there that's so bad, so unhealthy, and I'm not going to turn this into a whole diatribe against the Leafs or their fans or whatever, but there's something about everything up there that keeps that team from winning. In short order, it's that they make mega super solar stars out of everybody and then act stunned when those players get $10, $11 million, and then those players don't perform anywhere near the value of $10 or $11 million, and then they complain about how much of a cap hit they invested in that small handful of players while not being able to build a supporting cast at all. That's no, okay? Keep that out of here. Keep all of that out of here. Keep whatever is preventing Austin Matthews from taking to the ice in this series out of here. Keep whatever it is that keeps Mitch Marner from being even a remotely competent hockey player in the playoffs out of here. That's the only aspect of what you're bringing up here, Rich, that has me a little bit like, I don't want to see him just going after guys he knows. Because guys he knows means, hey, I had Noel Acciari in Toronto and he was really good. Acciari comes here and he was nothing. What I do want to see, to be positive about it, is a lot more in line with the outside the box thinking that said, let's go get Lars Eller. Eller was undervalued by the Avalanche. He was out there. He was available at a reasonable price. He came in and he probably exceeded even their expectations. Didn't exceed mine, as you know. More moves like that are needed and a lot less that just brings somebody else across from the Maple Leafs. Now, I'd be remiss if, before signing off today, I didn't cite Michael Bunting as an example. Bunting was somebody that Dubas had in Toronto and has proven to be a wonderful fit so far in Pittsburgh. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins, and we will do another one of these tomorrow.